Yes, arithmetic progressions. So we already discussed the formula yesterday. Now these were the questions which were given. What is the logic we use over here? The logic we use over here for finding out the value of x is? What apply the numbers? What is the logic here? No, tell me what is the logic we apply here? What is the logic to find the missing value of x that we should apply?
Ma'am, we can substitute any of the terms from the MCQ options.
Okay, that is one way to do because it's an MCQ question. What you could do is substitute options one by one. Okay, and then you can find out the value of the terms. Check whether the terms form an AP. That is one possible option. The problem with that is what if the last option is the answer? Okay, that's the only issue. But that is, yes, that's a valid method. You can substitute option and check. Otherwise, what's the main concept you apply when it is given that three terms are AP?
Sorry, 2x plus x plus 10 plus 3x plus 2.
No,
Yeah,
you should not add up everything. The difference between consecutive terms is the same. That is the logic you use. You will say x plus 10 minus 2x is the same as 3x plus 2 minus x plus 10. What should you be careful about when you're subtracting x plus 10 here? What should you be careful about? Brackets. You are subtracting an expression. So bracket is important. The logic we are using is second term minus first term is the same as third term minus second term. Why? Because for an AP, there is always a common difference. That is the logic that is being applied over here. Okay? Next question. If there was any doubt in getting to the final answer for any question, after you solve, let me know. I will solve it till the final step. Here, what was the logic you apply? How do you find the common difference whose nth term is 3n plus 7? There is a shortcut in which you will get the answer in 1 second. And there is a longer way also.
Ma'am, n equal to 1, ma'am.
You put n equals 1. Okay, you get the value as 10. So that is A. An is 3n plus 7. That means A1 will be put n equals 1. To find A2, what should you do? You put n equals 2 and you're going to get 3 into 2, 6 plus 7, 13. This is A2. Understanding what I'm doing? You apply these into the formula and find out the answer. Okay? And then what you get is common difference is equal to A2 minus A1, which is 3. This is the logic. This formula for An is already given. Use that formula to find A1 and A2 values. Alright? But what is the shortcut for this? Whenever you have nth term in the form, this is not taught to you in school, okay, but it is a logical thing. Whenever you have an given in the form of kn plus some number, kn plus b, let's say, whatever is the coefficient of n, whatever is the coefficient of n, that only will be the common difference. So that's why I told you in 1 second you could answer this. When I have nth term given as 3n plus 7, what will be the common difference? This value 3 directly. I'll explain the reasoning very quickly so that you'll remember this. Otherwise, you'll always have a doubt. Even though I told you this, you'll have a doubt when you do it in the exam. Like, will it work? Will it not work? The reason for this is all multiples of 3. Like 3n means what? Multiples of 3. All multiples of 3 forms an AP, right? All multiples of 3 forms an AP. What is the common difference for all multiples of 3? 3. If I add 7 to all multiples of 3, that will also be an AP. Every single term I'm adding 7. What will be the gap there also? 3 only. Because it's all multiples of 3 plus same number. So the gap will still be the same. It will be 3 only. That is why the common difference is 3. Okay? Alright. Anyway, it's okay. You don't have to remember this like an additional formula. Those of you can remember this quick, apply what I told you. Otherwise, do this normal method. Find A first term, find second term, find the common difference. Okay? What was the logic you apply in this question? Students, I'm repeating again. If you want me to stop and solve any question here completely, let me know. Okay? Alright. So you want to find the value of x. Are you supposed to find Sn? You are using Sn formula. What are you finding? What is x equal to?
an.
An. X is equal to the nth term of this AP. What are you given here? Sn, which is equal to 287. So which formula will you use here? Which formula of Sn will you use? N by 2 A plus An. This is the simpler formula to use. This question has been appearing commonly in few recent papers. Okay, so Sn is equal to n by 2 into A plus An. What you do over here is you you find out what is the value of, there is a problem over here, my mistake. I can't do this directly. I need to start with An only. What is the reason? Can you tell me? We don't know the value of n.
N
We
is
don't know
bigger.
how many terms are there, right? For both Sn formula, both the Sn formula, knowing the number of terms is important. Without the number of terms, you cannot answer. So you know that A would be what? A would be 1. Correct. An will be what? An will be An will be x, which we have to find out over here. But n is also missing. Correct. So this formula over here will not help us find this, the value of an directly. So what you should use first? Which formula should you use? The other formula of an. Yeah, an over here. One moment. There are some students who are joining. Let me just admit them. Okay. See, definitely we need to use the Sn concept. We will use the Sn concept to find out what Sn is already given the value. I will use Sn value to find n first. Use Sn to find n first. And then you use that to find this one. But that means I should not use the second formula. So that was a mistake I made. Okay. Because if I had the value of n, it was okay. I could have used the second formula. But I don't have the value of n. So no, that logic would be wrong. I use the first formula of Sn. What is the first formula? N by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 d. This is equal to Sn. When you use this, you will be able to find out what the value of n. Okay, so knowing the value of n is important. So n by 2 into 2 into 1 plus n minus 1 d. d would be 3 over here. This would be equal to 287. I would like you all to solve this because this is important. Please solve this.
So how would we know it's an AP?
Because the difference between the terms is same 3. 1 plus 4 plus this, the meaning of that is that the sum of all the terms is 287. And how are the terms? The terms are all like terms of an AP, right? Solve this, please.
After you find the value of x, then how do you find
X is an then, no? If you found the value of n, then x is an, the nth term.
Mom, you will get a quadratic equation.
Yes. When you use Sn formula to find n, always it will become a quadratic equation. Okay, you need to solve that quadratic. And remember to choose only the positive value as the value of n. 14, is it? How did you get that? Check your calculations. See what I've done on the board. What is the value of n you got? Okay. I think there's some error.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, this Rayyan is DMing me on Instagram and installing bad words to me, ma'am.
1 minute. Ryan is?
Ma'am, Rayyan is cursing me out on Instagram. He's telling that I'll beat you up.
I don't have any control on that, right? On what's happening on Instagram. Block him. Over.
Yes,
Problem solved.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
He's doing too much, ma'am, now. It's been happening for like past 1 week. He's threatening to beat me up and everything, ma'am.
Okay. But Fawaz, how is that
Right.
of concern in this class right now?
No, ma'am, I just had to let you know, ma'am, because you're the elderly person here, right?
Okay. Fine. Fawaz, let's
Yes, ma'am.
concentrate on maths now. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, tell Rayyan that I'll beat him if he does that again.
I don't know both you and Ryan. If you're going to go keep talking about this, I'm going to remove you from the meeting.
Ma'am, n will be 14, ma'am.
N is 14. That's correct then. So how did you split this? You use splitting the middle term or you use quadratic formula for this? Most of you use quadratic formula?
Quadratic formula, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Those who are able to find the numbers by splitting the middle term, good. But if it's taking too much time for you to get those by splitting the middle term, please use the quadratic formula. You will get two answers. Take the positive value. You get n is equal to 14. Okay. After you get the value of n, what are you supposed to do? Yes. So you get an is equal to, yes, an is equal to a plus n minus 1d, which is 1
13
plus
plus
13 multiplied by 3. So you get 40 as the answer, correct. Okay, so remember in these type of questions, when the Sn is given, you need to first find out the value of n and then continue. Even otherwise, if Sn was not given and you had to find Sn, then also the value which you require is the value of n. Okay? Value of middle term. How do you find out the value of the middle term? How do you find value of middle term of an AP? You need to first find the number of terms.
Ma'am, ending term by 2.
Can you repeat that?
Ending term divided by 2.
Not ending
Is it
term
ending
divided by
term
2.
divided by 2?
No. When you are saying ending term, I don't know what you meant, but the way you said it, if you're saying ending term divided by 2, that means 58 divided by 2 is the middle term. That is wrong. How do you find the middle term's position? That is also not 58 divided by 2. To find the middle term's position, first you need to know how many terms are there. You need to know the n value, right? How many terms are there you should know first. How do you find out the value of n? How do you find the value of n?
I'm using an formula.
An formula. You find the value of n. Then how do you find the position of the middle term?
And if it's even with it, but it's odd and
No. If, see, sometimes in the exam, the question might be asked as, there will be one single middle term of the AP only if the value of n is odd. If the value of n is even, there will be two middle terms. Remember, anytime you're having even number of terms, see for example 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even number of terms, there will be two middle terms. But if there is only odd number of terms, there will be only one middle term. Right? Only one middle term then. So here they are asking value of the middle term. When they are asking value of the middle term, that means that there is only one middle term over here. N should be what? Odd. Right? So when you're finding value of odd, this one, anyone already did this? Found the value of N?
Nine, 17.
You got N as 9? I don't think
No,
it's
I
9.
got N as 17. I got it as 17.
Can you type it in chat? I can't hear you well. Nobody here did it?
Ma'am, I got N as 17.
N as 17. Okay. So you substitute this minus 6 for A. You substitute D as, D will be what? Minus 2 minus of minus 6, which is minus 2 plus 6, 4. Correct? Once you get these values, once you get the value of N, what are you supposed to do to find the middle term? A17 is not the middle term. A17 will be 58. There are 17 terms in total. So how do you find the value of the middle term?
1 by 2.
17 plus 1 by 2. Good. The position of the middle term would be 17 plus 1 by 2th term, which is 18 by 2, 9th term. The 9th term will be the middle term. So after you have done all these steps, your final step would be find out A9, which you know how to do already, right? What happened, Abdan? You look doubtful. You got N as 12? Here when you're doing this, N would be, okay, A plus minus 6 plus N minus 1 into D, which is 4, must be equal to 58. That means N minus 1 into 4 is 58 plus 6. 58 plus 6 is 64. N minus 1 is 64 divided by 4, 16. So N is 17. Okay, some calculation error. So once you get N as 17, what do we do? As I mentioned, 17 plus 1. Add 1, make it an even number and divide by 2. Alright? So you're getting 9th term as a middle term. These are common type of questions. What are you expected to do whenever you get such type of questions? You're expected to form some equations and you're supposed to find the missing value of A and D. Right? Form equations and find the missing value of A and D. So S, translate directly whatever is given. S14 is equal to 1050. Fourth term is 40. A4 is 40. Read carefully. Okay. So over here S14 is 1050 means what? That, yes, 2A plus 13D is 1050. Form a linear equation. You rearrange, form a linear equation. Here what do you do? A plus 3D is 40. You get two linear equations here, no? So read the question carefully. What is the condition given? Form the two linear equations, solve for A and D. Once you get A and D, you will get easily this term. So these are common type of questions which comes, and so many of these type of questions are there in your textbook also. The main aim is form two linear equations, find missing values of A and D, then find the nth term. Okay? What about this one? We're discussing concepts now. I'll give you time later on to solve during practice time. What are we supposed to do here?
Ma'am, we should find what is divisible by 6.
Okay. Right, you're right. And a very common mistake is taking the value of A as 170. First of all, 170 is not divisible. It is divisible, sorry, by 2. But it is not divisible by 3. So any which ways 170 is not divisible by both 2 and 3. Even if the number was a number which was divisible by 6, still you should not take it because of the English which is used in the question. Between, very important. It is not from. If the question said, find the number of numbers from 170 to 320, then 170 and 320 can be included. If the wording was from. But here from is not there. The word is between. So 170, 320. Even if 170 and 320 satisfy the condition, you should not include them. So can you tell me which is the first number between 170 and 320 which satisfies the condition? So 7 plus 1, 8. 171 not divisible by 2. So I add 3 more. So I'll get 174. 7 plus 4, 8. 8 plus 1, 9. Divisible by 3. It ends with 4. So divisible by 2. Which means it's divisible by both 2 and 3. It's divisible by 6. If you don't understand all this, what I just did now, what you're supposed to do, you do 170 divided by 6. Okay? When you do 170 divided by 6, what does it mean? You're going to get, you get 2. Okay? Remainder would be 5 here. So you get 8. Basically, you get the remainder as 2. Correct? So that means 170 minus 2 is in 6 table. What do you mean by remainder 2? It means you subtract 2, that is in 6 table. So you get 168 is there in 6 table. Correct? 168 is there in 6 table. How do you find the next number which is there in 6 table? Add 6. You get 174. So I hope you understood two things. One, why am I doing 6? When a number is divisible by both 2 and 3, it means the number is divisible by 6. That's the reason I'm finding numbers divisible by 6. Second point, the use of word between and from. Okay, be very careful about that. After that, what do we have? You need to correctly find the first term which is divisible by 6. Okay, so the numbers form an AP. You will write like that. The numbers form an AP 174, 180, comma, dot, dot, dot. Which will be the last term which is divisible by 6? 320 minus 6. 320 is there in 6 table? No, no. 320 is not there in 6 table. When you divide 320 by 6, we get 5. Okay, sorry. Yeah, 5 only. 6 into 5, 30. 2 is the remainder, 3. So how much is the remainder totally? 2, right? So that means 320 minus 2, 318. 318 is divisible by 6. When I'm dividing, I'm getting 2 as a remainder, so subtract 2. Now I got the AP. So important thing in these type of questions is finding the AP first. Once you found the AP, what do? You should find the nth term formula you use to get what? To get the value of n. Because that is the question. Find the number of numbers. Find the number of numbers. So you use the nth formula to find out the value of n. Understanding? What if the question was divisible by 2 or 3? 2 or 3.
There are 2 cases, but we should find the 2.
Okay, and then what you should do? After finding the number of numbers divisible by 2, after finding number of numbers divisible by 3, what should you do? If my question was divisible by 2 or 3, if you just directly add and finish that as the answer, it's wrong. I hope everyone's listening. If the question, here the question is 2 and 3. If the question was divisible by 2 or 3, there are 3 cases, not 2 cases, 3 cases. You should find the numbers divisible by 2. Same method, but you take the AP having difference 2. Find the numbers divisible by 3. Again, same thing, but take difference as 3. After that, what you should do? Subtract the number of numbers divisible by 6. Do you understand why I tell that? Because what happens is those numbers will be repeated in both table. 2's table also is there, 3's table it's also there. The numbers which are divisible by 6. So you have counted them twice. You're not supposed to count them twice, no? That is, so it will be a very lengthy question. If the question was 2 or 3. You have to find how many are divisible by 2. How many divisible by 3. Subtract how many are divisible by 6. Become very lengthy.
So we should find AP of 6 and then subtract.
AP of, yeah. Whatever we did here, we have to subtract from after adding number of numbers by 2 and number of numbers by 3. If the question is divisible by 2 or 3, okay, First you find number divisible by 2. Number divisible by 2. Then you find number divisible by 3. Then you find number divisible by 6. Add these two. These two you add and this you will subtract. Okay? Okay, I think there are few more doubts in chat. One moment. Students who ask me doubts, I just noticed the chat right now. So did all of you understand? Okay. Next one. What's the concept here? When you have 4 terms in AP, 4 terms in AP. So let the 4 terms in AP be A minus 3D, A minus D, A plus D and A plus 3D. This is the main logic. When you have, what type of questions do you use this in? Not everywhere where you see 4 terms in AP. Every single question where 4 terms are there in AP, don't start using this. When you know the sum and product ratios, that means the question is involving sum of terms, product of terms. The question uses that. In that case, you use this. Okay? You start off like this, apply these conditions and solve.
What if they say 3 consecutive?
If it is 3 terms in AP, then you use A minus D, A plus D. Very important. Okay? This is A minus 3D, A minus D, A plus D, A plus 3D.
Why not write A plus 3D? Why not write A plus 2D?
Okay, there is a request to solve this question completely. So I'll do that. Okay? Yes, what is your question, Tashwat? Why not A minus 2D, A minus D, A plus D and A plus 2D? This is your doubt? This won't be an AP. Why it won't be an AP? Because look at the difference here. You add D to get the next one. Look at the difference here. I will add 2D. What is the difference between A plus D and A minus D? 2D will be the difference. And here the difference is again D.
What if I make it A minus 2D, A minus D, A plus D?
What is the advantage then? What is the advantage then? Why are we doing this? What's the purpose behind doing this? The purpose is when we add, D must cancel. The purpose behind doing this is when we are adding, the terms must cancel so that I can easily calculate value of A. So I want it to be symmetrical perfectly. Okay? So don't do this. Okay, students, there's a request to solve the question completely. I'll do that. It is given the sum is 32, right? So Tashwat, here you will see the advantage. You can see that alternate terms are cancelling. Yeah? So you get 4A is equal to 32, which means A is equal to 8. So easily we found out the value of A now. And remember, in this particular form, A is not the first term. What is our first term in this AP? A minus 3D. A is not the first term because we have changed the form of the AP to suit us, to suit our calculation requirement. Now, ratio of product of first and last terms to product of middle two terms is 7:15.
A minus 3D plus 3D
Yes.
by A minus D and plus D.
Very good. This is equal to 7 by 15. Now my advice is don't substitute a directly here. Okay, first we'll do a modification and then we'll calculate. So we're going to get a square minus 9d square by a square minus d square is 7 by 15. So we have 15a square minus, I'm just multiplying, cross multiplying here. Okay, 15a square minus 9 into 15, 135 d square is equal to 7a square minus 7d square. So I'm going to get over here 8a square is equal to 135 minus 7, 128 d square. So d square is 8a square by 128. Now I'll substitute 8 into 8 into 8 by 128. Okay. So I'm getting d square as 4. Alright.
Mom, 8a square, right, Mom? Then how did Mom 8 into 8 into 8? A is also
Because a's value is 8. We found that here.
okay. That's so
Yeah.
small, Mom. I not
Yeah.
noticed. Sorry.
Yeah. So if d square is 4, what is the value of d? Value of d is actually speaking plus or minus 2. Actually speaking, d is plus or minus 2, but here because the terms are symmetrical, it would not matter. If I use plus 2, I'll get the numbers increasing. If I use minus 2, the numbers will decrease. But actually speaking, d is plus or minus 2. Okay. Now what do? You substitute this value of d to get the value of the terms. Therefore, the terms are, what will be the terms when you substitute? So when you substitute a as 8 and d as 2, you're going to do 8 minus 3 into 2. 8 minus 6, which is 2. Okay, a minus d, that means 8 minus 2, 6. Okay, and then no. Okay, see, I'll tell you, this is a common mistake. I just got an answer immediately that the next term should be 8. I understood what you thought. You thought d value is 2. So the next term should be 8. But no, remember we have changed the way to suit our purpose of fast calculation. We changed the way the terms of the AP are. The common difference of this AP is not d. The common difference of this AP is 2d. Look, a plus 3d minus a plus d is 2d. Understanding? So it's better you not to make mistakes. You substitute in the original formula only. The next term should be 10. A plus d, which is 8 plus 4. 8 plus 2, 10. And then it's a plus 3d, which means next one would be 14. These are the numbers. All right? You can write d equals plus or minus 2. I have not written APS. Suppose they asked you find the AP. Suppose the question was not find the numbers. The question was find the AP. Then there are two possibilities. When d is plus 2, one possibility, 2, 6, 10, 14. When d is minus 2, it will be 14, 10, 6, 6, 2. So if the question was find the AP, you have to write both cases separately. But here the question is find the numbers. So when it's find the numbers, the order does not matter, no? That's why to save time, I didn't bother writing case 1 and case 2. If you write that also, no problem, no issues. I did that here because they told find the numbers. If they told find the AP, 100% I would have written case 1, case 2. Okay. Guys, we have spent a lot of time on AP now. So let's stop here. Otherwise, we won't finish our remaining chapters planned for the day. Okay. This question, those who have doubts, we'll discuss later. Okay. During the doubt clearing time. These two questions. Right. Okay. Word problems. Which questions do you have doubts in? Which one do you want me to solve? I'll select few to solve. Okay, let's try this one then. Formula for work is rate into time. That's right. So you will take time as reciprocal of rate or rate as reciprocal of time in work time rate questions. Here this is speed distance time question. Speed distance time question, what do you do? Which formula do you use? Yes, good. Okay. We know distance is equal to speed into time. A common confusion for many of you would be, is this a quadratic equations question or is this a linear equation question? Remember, quadratic equation means one case will be given. Linear equation means two cases will be there. Usually, just as a quick thing to remember, usually, I'm not using the word every time. Usually, in quadratic equation questions, the total distance will be given. And there will be one case. Distance will be given, there will be one case in quadratic equation questions. Usually in linear equation questions, the distance won't be given, but there will be two cases. Like if speed increased by this much, time reduced by this much. If speed increased by something else, time decreased by something else. So two cases. Like that two cases if you had, usually it's linear equations. If it is only one case like this question, only one case is there and distance is given, that means it is quadratic normally. So try to use one variable over here. Always the recommendation is whatever is unknown, take that as the variable. So you will say let x be
Original speed of the
yes, good. Do this. Now, how do you form the equation? When you are finding speed, form equation with time. This will be okay. You want speed to be there in your equation. You want speed x to come in your formula. So you should form an equation which is connecting times, original time and new time. In this question, is original time more or new time is more? New time is more, no? In this question, new time is more. So new time minus original time is equal to how much? Why did you say new time is more?
It's not this less and then
It should have taken 48 minutes less, right? So original time is more. Read question carefully. Speed is more. Speed has increased. That means time has decreased. Okay? That means time has decreased means original time was more. So it will be original time minus new time is equal to how much? 48 minutes. 48 minutes means how do I convert it? 48 by 60. Okay, first I'll write 48 minutes itself over here so that students understand. Now I'll substitute in terms of everything. Original time is how much? Original time is original distance divided by original speed. Original distance is how much? 360 divided by x. New time is how much? X plus 5 because the speed has increased. This is equal to how much? 48 minutes. But exactly 48 minutes. But look at all the units elsewhere. Kilometer per hour. You have to convert to hours. So you need to divide by 60. That's your equation. Okay. So once you have written this, okay, now how do you do the calculation quickly? Take 360 common out. I can move 360 to the denominator on the other side. Okay, so I can say 48 by 60 into 360. Here we can simplify. We can do the cancellations and simplifications. On this LHS, what we will do? Cross multiply like this. X plus 5 minus x divided by this.
X and X will be cancelled.
Yes. Okay. Here what I can do? This is 12 into 4, 12 into 5. This is 4 into 90. Okay. So I get x square plus 5x. Please do your calculations. If you watch me only, sometimes you may get confused. Please write simultaneously. Check whether this is the quadratic you got.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
After this, you need to solve this quadratic. Okay, there is a question. What if we took x and x minus 5? Will we get the same answer? See, it depends on what you took as x and what you took as x minus 5. If you took x minus 5 as the original speed and x as the new speed, then it is okay. But you should be very clear about that, Salik. Salik, you're following?
yes.
You need to alter your equation accordingly. And you should remember that if you're taking x and x minus 5 is the original speed and x is the new speed. That clarity you should have in your mind. Okay? All right. You have a doubt? Okay. One. You divide everything by 4. If I'm not wrong. Divide everything by 4, no? 20 divided by 4 is 5. 9,000 divided by 4 will be that many. Okay, it's not wrong. Only thing is you did more calculations because you didn't cancel the common factors the way I did. Okay. Upstream, downstream concept, do you guys remember? Yeah. This one moment. Anybody who finished calculating this? So this is a common 5-mark question. Okay? It has appeared, I'm sure, for many of your school exams also, this type of question. Yeah. Yes, Chris, you're right. It's 45. You would have got 45 and 50 when you're splitting the middle term. Minus 50 and plus 45 if you're using splitting the middle term. Okay. Upstream, downstream logic.
It goes upstream, it should be minus, and if it goes downstream, it should be plus.
Okay.
This is going towards the
Is this a linear equations question or a quadratic equations question?
Ma'am, linear equation and quadratic both, ma'am.
It is
On the equation.
a linear equation question. If it was quadratic, one of the speeds at least would have been given to you. Either speed of stream or speed of rowing or speed of boat, something would have been given to you. One of the speeds. Here both the speeds are unknown. The speed of the stream is unknown. The speed of the boat is also unknown. Both are unknown. So this is a case of a linear equation problem. So you need to specify variables for both the unknowns. So let speed of rowing in still water be x kilometer per hour. Let speed of stream be y kilometer per hour. Can you tell me upstream, downstream, okay, distance, yes, distance, speed, and time. Okay, distance in both cases is 20 kilometers. What will be the upstream speed?
X plus 4 kilometer. X.
Upstream speed. When you go up, your speed reduces. So when you go up, your speed reduces. That means x minus y is the upstream speed. Speed of boat minus speed of stream. Speed of rowing minus speed of stream. What is downstream speed? X plus y. Okay, so what is the time?
2 hours for
2 hours for upstream and it is 2 hours for downstream. Okay, what are the equations which you can form?
time is equal to distance speed.
Yes, or you can say speed is equal to distance by time. Right? Very easy, very simple equations you will get. Speed equals distance by time. It's very simple question. Only problem is you might get worried. It's upstream, downstream question. You may take time thinking what to do. Speed equals distance by time. So upstream speed is how much? X minus y. What is the upstream time? 20 divided by 2. This distance divided by this speed. 20 divided by 2, which is 10. Same for downstream. Downstream is what? X plus y. What is the downstream time? 2. What is the downstream distance? 20. So what will be the downstream time? 20 kilometers in 2 hours. I made a mistake. Upstream. Oh, I wrote the wrong thing. Sorry. Yeah. I'm thinking something doesn't add up. 20 kilometers in 2 hours. Upstream 4 kilometers. I wrote it wrong here. Sorry, students. Upstream 4 kilometers. Otherwise, it doesn't add up, no? How can it be same time for both? Yeah. Upstream was 4 kilometers. Downstream was 20 kilometers. So that means I should change this. Right? So upstream 4 kilometers, he went in 2 hours. So what is the upstream speed? 4 divided by 2, which is 2 kilometer per hour. Downstream is x plus y, 20 kilometers in 2 hours. So 20 divided by 2, 10. Very simple equations to solve. Right? You will get 2x is equal to 12. You will get x is equal to 6. So speed of rowing in still water is what? 6 kilometer per hour. Speed of stream is how much? 4 kilometer per hour. Simple. Okay. So doing tough questions, don't forget that some questions can be like this simple also. Only thing is you need to translate that wordings properly. Okay. All right. This one. Read carefully. There's a confusion which chapter this is. Read carefully.
Is X 6 for the previous one?
Yeah, x is 6 and y would be 4. And please conclude for these word problem questions in words. Don't just leave x is 6, y is 4. Write in words with units. The speed in rowing in still water is 6 kilometer per hour. Speed of stream is 4 kilometer per hour. Write down like that. Okay, this one. One more time. Fast. No, this will be 3-mark question. Usually linear equation word problems, if you notice the paper pattern, they're asking it for 3 marks and quadratic equation word problems for 5 marks. Usually, again. Can't say whether they will change the pattern suddenly in the board exam. As per the sample paper pattern, 3 marks for linear equations, 5 marks for quadratic equations.
Quadratic equations when it comes to 5 marks, then we know it's quadratic.
That's I'm scared to tell like that. Now suddenly linear equation comes for 5 marks. You guys should not tell. Ma'am told it will be always quadratic for 5 marks. No. Okay? Read the question carefully.
India was like last year's paper for the 5 mark it was last year application.
Yes.
But this case was
Yes. Okay, can I go to the next question? Done? Yeah. There's a doubt which chapter this question is from. Around 5 of you told me it's from AP question. It's not an AP question. If it was an AP question, you would not have only 2 terms. They are only talking about first month, second month. Read the question. They are only talking about first month, second month. If it is an AP question, it would have been like so many months would have been there. Some nth term somewhere would have been there. This is only first month, second month.
Maybe it won't register the second
Okay. So how do you do? If it is linear equation, what are the values you consider? Now the next one. Now that you know it's not AP, the next doubt is it linear or quadratic?
Ma'am, linear equation, and we'll get the answer in the quadratic form, ma'am.
That means it is quadratic. If you're eventually going to convert it into quadratic, it means it's quadratic. So how do you do this? Now, what is the understanding you have over here in this question now? She made 12,000 rupees in sales in her first month. In second month, what is the total sales? 14,000. Okay. So you have, let's try to write this down in math. Convert English to maths. Okay. So first month, second month, total sales. Total sales here is 12,000. Total sales over here is 14,000 because increased total sales by 2,000. Okay. Now, next thing. What does sales depend on? Sales depends on price of product for each earring and number of earrings, right? It depends on price of product for each earring and number of earrings. Now, over here, I want at what price she sold the earrings in the second month. Okay. So, first month, okay, second month, okay. Let me assume that the price per earring, this is what we want. Correct? Let us assume that the price per earring over here in second month is X. Can you tell me what was the price per earring in the first month? Very good. X plus 20. Okay, so this is just one advice which I generally give students. Whatever you have to find, I generally prefer keeping that only as X. Okay, so since I want to find the price per earring in the second month, I'm putting that as X. Now you need to find price per earring in the first month. Look at the question. First month price of the product will be, so this is the decreased price. Decreased price by 20. That means in first month it was 20 rupees more. So it is X plus 20. Okay. Now I need to see how I can form an equation. What was the number of earrings sold? Number of earrings sold in the first month was how much? I don't have to introduce a new variable. I won't introduce a new variable because I know this is quadratic equation. How do I know this is quadratic equation? You remember the point which I told you in the previous case? Here also there are, like, it looks like there are two conditions. Okay. But the important thing is I know the total sales value here. It is this sort of like the distance question. I know the total distance. It will be like a quadratic equation. Distance is equal to speed into time. I know the total price here. Total price is what? Total price is number of earrings into price per earring. So I already know that. So it becomes easy for me to solve this in terms of quadratic straight away. Now, one of you mentioned me it is linear, which can be eventually made into quadratic. If you are more comfortable doing that, because it's late now, we are already near the exam, so it might be a little difficult to change your preferred method of solving. If you prefer doing that, no problem. But others, please, I suggest you try thinking about this that way. So number of earrings sold in the first month will be total sales divided by price per earring. 12,000 divided by X plus 20. What is the number of earrings sold in the second month? Total, how much ever I got money, 14,000 divided by price per earring. What quantity connects these two? Read the question. What have we not used? I've underlined. Whatever I'm using, I have already underlined. What have I not underlined? Sold 40 more items. Which one is 40 more? So which one is more? This is more. And this is smaller. This is more, this is smaller, right? So I will do 14,000 by X minus 12,000 by X plus 20 is equal to 40. When I rearrange this, I will get quadratic equation. Following? I'm not solving it right now. Okay, I wanted to discuss the concept. Yeah. Tell me once you're done. Can I change? This will solve this. Those who have doubts, I'll solve it later. Okay, let's discuss this. After this, we will start with what we were actually planning for today. Okay, triangles onwards.
Is this real number?
Read and understand.
Yes, no.
Yes, no, no confusion, no. Which chapter it is? Others, did you finish reading? Very lengthy questions like this, you should know how to quickly skim through. Reading comprehension skills are very important. You should know how to skim through and then, take out the important information. What I would advise you when the question are so lengthy is go to the main question first, the end sentence. Go to the last sentence. Find the number of students in each group. Find the number of groups in each art form. How many rooms are required in each group? So there is grouping involved. Whenever there is grouping involved, any questions where grouping is involved, usually it means you're finding a factor. When you're grouping stuff, you're finding a factor. So just by looking at those last three sentences, I am guessing in my mind, it is an HCF question. If it was something like walking, taking steps, regular intervals, that will be LCM question. If it is a bell ringing in regular intervals, that will be an LCM question. Because over there you're finding multiple. When you're finding a multiple, a bigger value, you're finding a bigger value than the numbers given, it is a multiple, you're finding LCM. But when you're finding a smaller value, you're grouping, you want to find number of groups. Number of groups cannot be more than the number of people, no? Number of groups will be less than the number of people. So any grouping is involved. Usually that will be HCF. You're finding a factor. So now I understood that. Now keeping that in mind, I will take out the important things. 60 music. That is the only important thing over there. 84 dance. 108 handicrafts. So many students I have for each. For optimum cultural exchange, each group consists of students interested in same art form. Number of students in each group is same. Immediately, number of students in each group is same means HCF. You have to find HCF of, so you need to find number of groups in each art form. So start with that only. Number of groups in each art form. Equals HCF of 60, 84, 108. Writing this step is important in such kind of word problems.
Same, but some art forms will have more groups and some will have less.
Yeah. No, we are finding number of students in each group. Each group consists of students number. Yeah, correct. You're right. Each groups will have same number of students. I want to form equal sized groups. So that will be the HCF. But the number of such groups will change. Obviously, handicrafts will have maximum groups. Music will have least number of groups. So first I'm finding out how many students. So I wrote it, find the number of groups in each art form. Sorry, I wrote it wrong. You're right. Thank you for pointing that out. Find the number of students in each group is what I'm finding out first. Okay. So number of students in each group. That is what we are finding first. 60 students, 84 students, 108 students. Highest common factor and multiple both will stand for number of students. Unit will remain the same. If I formed groups, that is a different thing, right? So this is number of students in each group. Okay. So what will that be? You need to find the HCF. Okay. Now when you are finding HCF, you can do the normal prime factorization, no issues, but please write it down then. Okay. So for example, if I'm doing this, okay. So once you do this, 60 is what? 60 is 2 square into 3 into 5. 84 is what? 2 square into 3 into 7. 108 is what? 2 square into 3 into 9. That means 3 into 3 square. 3 cube into, that's it, no? Okay. So this writing this down is important. Some of you do it separately, that's okay. Okay. After you do this, HCF is equal to how much? We already know HCF is how much? 2 square into 3, which is 12. So this is the number of students in each group. How many groups are there in each art form?
In music, there will be 60 by 12, 5.
So music will be 60 divided by 12, right? So number of groups will be 60 divided by 12, 5. Then 84 divided by 12, 7. 108 divided by 12, 9. So many groups are there in each art form. How many rooms are required if each group is allotted a room? That means number of groups equals number of rooms.
5 rooms, 7 rooms.
You add everything. 5 plus 7 plus 9. 5 plus 7 plus 9 will be the total number of rooms. Okay? Okay. We'll stop with this. Okay. So let's start off with triangles now. So triangles. What does the chapter triangle start with? Which theorem? Basic proportionality theorem. What's another name for basic proportionality theorem? Thales theorem. Write this down quickly. The missing words. You all should know the complete statement. For now, just write the missing words. The basic construct is already given. You should learn this, memorize and learn this, by the way. Yeah? The basic proportionality theorem. Okay, no problem. Just use that as a guideline. If you want to write the complete statement, that's okay. If you don't know the complete statement memorized, please learn it up now after filling in the missing words. What happened? Converse. Think opposite, reverse statement.
Can you check?
I'll write it down. We'll lose time otherwise, okay? Check while I'm writing it down. If a line is drawn parallel, that is the given condition. If a line is drawn parallel to one side, any one side, okay, of a triangle to intersect the other two sides in distinct points. That is very important. Yeah, you can write two distinct points or distinct points, okay? In two distinct points or just distinct. The other two sides are divided. Don't use the word bisected. Bisected means divided at the midpoint. Don't use the word bisected. Divided in the same ratio. Divided in equal ratio. That's also fine. This is the basic proportionality theorem. What is the converse of BPT?
If a line is drawn and
If a line intersects any two sides in the,
distinct points.
what is the given condition for converse? For converse, what is the given condition? In the same ratio. The opposite. In the basic PPT, given and to prove. Whatever is given and to prove or given and the result, that will get interchanged for converse. If a line intersects any two sides of a triangle in the same ratio, then the line is parallel to which side? To the third side. The line is intersecting two sides, right? It's parallel to the third side. Okay? The leftover side. No. Converse of BPT proof is not there. Okay? Main BPT proof. Converse of BPT statement is important. Statement you need not memorize, but understanding the statement is important because there are so many proofs where you have to use converse of BPT. Okay?
So, ma'am, should we write this whole sentence?
No. Wherever you're using converse of BPT in questions, just write bracket converse of BPT. When are you using converse of BPT? When you know the ratios are equal and you're proving the lines are parallel. That means you're using converse of BPT. Okay? Alright. This is the BPT theorem.
Ma'am, is it possible to repeat where do we use the converse of BPT once again?
Yes, sure. Converse of BPT is used like when you have a triangle ABC. You are having a line DE. You already know, you already found out that AD by DB is equal to AE by EC. This you already found out. And if this is true, it means that DE is parallel to BC. So it's the reverse of BPT. In BPT, if the line is parallel, ratios are equal. When you're using it in this order, that means you are proving first that the sides are in same ratio. Parallel is not given in question. You're using this result to show that the lines are parallel. That time in bracket, you should write converse of BPT.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Understood.
This is the BPT theorem. I don't want you to write this now. I'll be sharing this anyway, you know. I've just put it as part of the slide so that in case anybody has any confusion, you can learn this. My main problem with most of you is this statement. Most of you don't know how to write this statement, this end part. And most of you do not write this properly, given to prove construction. All this has marks. Figure has marks. Given to prove construction has marks. Okay? Only 3 statements, simple proof. 1, 2, 3. 3 statements you need to remember. This 1, 2 and 3. This third statement is the most important one which all of you miss out on, writing the reason properly. I'm not explaining it right now. I'm sure this would have been explained so many times already. Okay, but I'll be sending this so that you can learn up. This is the shortest way you can write the BPT. You could write it with more additional number of steps, but the shortest way you can write, making sure all points are there, is this. Okay? All right, let's solve questions. Oh, I forgot this. One more thing I wanted to discuss. Yeah. Similarity. We missed out similarity, right? Only BPT we discussed. Okay. Write this down. If two triangles are similar, what 6 things does it mean? If two triangles are similar, what 6 things does it mean? You already know. It's already given. Triangles are similar. Write it down. I want to see. What relationship does the sides follow? What relationship does the angles follow? Easiest thing is corresponding angles will be equal. That's the easiest three conditions you can write. And look at the order. A is equal to D. First letter equal to first letter. Second letter, second letter. Yes. Now, those of you who wrote this, if you wrote this, this is wrong. If you wrote BC is equal to EF, that is wrong. If you wrote AC is equal to DF, that is wrong. This is not congruency. This is similarity. It is in the same ratio. So if you have written any of these three, it is wrong. Please get that point straight into your mind. Many of you still use this wrongly. You assume that the corresponding sides are equal. You use it in the wrong way in the proving questions. The ratio of sides is equal. What does that mean? AB by DE is equal to BC by EF. Or I can say AB by DE is equal to AC by DF. Or I can say BC by EF equals AC by DF. We could have obviously written all these together in one single statement. All three are equal to each other. Right? You could have written it as just as one single statement. But sometimes what happens, you need to split it this way, right? Depending on what you want for that question. So please understand, ratio of the corresponding sides is equal. Not that the sides itself are equal. Now, if PQ is parallel to EF, suppose this PQ is parallel to EF, what are the conclusions that you can make? Which triangles would be similar in that case? APQ, DD, this is D. Triangle DPQ would be similar to DEF. The reasoning could be AA similarity or even SAS similarity. But SAS similarity is long to prove because you will have to say BPT, using BPT and all that. AA similarity is the easiest. Okay, because this angle is common, right? These angles are equal, corresponding angles. So by AA similarity, these two triangles are similar. This we use a lot. Now, suppose you have this measurement, okay? Suppose I have DP measurement. I have DE measurement. Okay? Suppose I have DP, I have DE. I can say DP by DE is equal to DQ by DF, right? By BPT. Correct? I can say this is equal to this. Okay, this by this is equal to this by this. Correct? Can tell me, now one question for you is, by BPT, can I tell this is also equal to PQ by EF? Is the reasoning for this BPT? Similarity. These are equal. These are equal, but not because of BPT. When the base lengths are involved, it is because of similarity. We have discussed this earlier. I want to again emphasize. When you are involving base lengths, that means the length of the parallel sides. Remember, length of parallel sides, if you're using an equation, you're using similarity, not BPT. BPT is used for the other sides, not the parallel sides. BPT is used for the other sides. If you are making use of the length of the parallel sides, that is important. You are using similarity, not BPT. Okay. Now the property between ratio of medians, ratio of altitudes, ratio of perimeters of similar triangles. If triangles are similar, if triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF, ratio of sides are already equal, we know. The ratio of sides will also be equal to what? No, ratio of sides will be equal to ratio of medians. We have learned the proof for this in the exercise. Ratio of sides will also be equal to ratio of altitudes. Ratio of sides will also be equal to ratio of perimeter. Very important concept for even 1 mark questions. So, Side length of triangle ABC by side length of triangle DF is equal to perimeter of triangle ABC by perimeter of triangle DEF. Side length of ABC by side length of DF is equal to median length of ABC by median length of DF. Altitude by altitude of both the triangles is equal to median by median of both the triangles. This is only valid if the triangles are similar. Only if triangles are similar, you can use this. If it is not given it is similar and they're asking you this question, first what you should do? Prove they're similar. Prove they're similar and then use this property. Okay, the difference between median and altitude. Here, what is AD? AD is median over here. Why? Because it is bisecting the base. So look at the marking. I have marked BD is equal to DC. That means AD is median. What is AE? AE is altitude because AE is perpendicular to BC. So AE is altitude because it's making 90 degrees with BC. Whatever you used in BPT theorem was altitude. Remember like that. You constructed perpendicular. When it is bisecting base, that's median. Solve questions. Quick. Should solve in less than a minute. No. Only in isosceles triangle and equilateral triangle. Only in equilateral triangle, all medians are same as altitudes.
All bisectors are.
No. No such thing. Bisector is a different thing, altitude is a different thing, median is a different thing. Only in equilateral.
Ma'am, D.
Sorry? You're telling me the answer. Yeah, I'm just discussing. You need to message me, because your voice cracks in between. It's been happening from the start of the class. So send me a message in the chat. Okay, you understood? Bisector, median and altitude is the same only in equilateral triangles. In other triangles, it won't be the same. Only depending on the shape of the triangle, it will be same.
Answer will be 3 centimeters. Ma'am.
Answer is 3 here. Check please others. Answer is not 3. Guys, one very important thing which I want to tell you is in the board exam, figures are not drawn perfectly. If figures are drawn perfectly, they will tell you. So by looking at the measurements, by looking at the way the figure looks like, you cannot make judgment on what the side should be. You should do the proper calculations. Don't look at the figure, think, oh, it's smaller. So it's the smallest. Let me choose the smallest answer. You'll get the wrong answer. Never go by looks. Don't judge anything by looks. Okay? What's the answer? A.
X is 1. Sorry, okay.
A would be not right, yeah. A would not be right. Think logically. You made one small mistake in your thinking.
Is it D?
Yeah. D is correct. 1 is correct. Here, okay, fine. Looks worked. But I just told that statement because I could make out that some of you were very quick to answer just by looking. But don't do that. Okay? Sometimes they could have marked that 2 as 6 and they could have marked 6 as 2. Just to confuse you. Possible. Because they never tell you that figures are drawn to scale in the exam. Alright? Okay. Alright. Now, how do you answer this? These lines are parallel. Okay, it's a 1 mark question. These lines are parallel. Can you use BPT just because you see parallel lines?
No.
Why you cannot use BPT? Because the parallel line is not inside one triangle. It is like outside. So it's not BPT, it's similarity. Triangle is very easy thing is only 2 concepts are there. BPT or similarity. So this is similarity. Similarity means that sides must be in same ratio. Okay, you understood it's similar. Okay, now it should be very clear to you which side and which side are proportional. All right, so we know that these two alternate interior angles are equal, these two are vertically opposite angles. It should be very clear to you that OPQ is similar to OBA. Okay, that means all corresponding sides must have the same ratio. Look at this triangle. This triangle is meant to be the bigger triangle. By how much? 3 times. This triangle is 3 times bigger than the smaller triangle. 2 times 3, 6. Okay, that means this must also be bigger by 3 times. 3 times what is 3? 3 times 1 is 3. That was the shorter way of answering, by just logically doing it without having to write much. You don't have to write too much then. If you're not very clear with your logical understanding what you do, you would write this full thing, then you would write all the ratios, you will substitute, do the calculation. You would do that, okay, OP is what I have to find, OP by OB. All these steps, by the way, are required for 2 mark or 3 mark. There you cannot just say logically answer is this. You have to write the steps. Okay, 1 mark, but try to save time. OP by OB is equal to PQ by BA. So you could write OP is missing, OB is 3, PQ is 2 and BA is 6. So you know that OP will be 1. But otherwise also, just by keeping these things in mind, which is the bigger triangle, which is the smaller triangle. How much times is it bigger? It is 3 times bigger. So that way you can follow the logic and answer. 1 is the answer. Yeah, next one.
The answer is 12.
Okay. So PB is 6, AP is 4, AQ is 8. Find the length of AC. All right. So here you are having 4, 6. So one careless mistake which you might make is answering this as 12. Answering the final answer as 12. Because 12 is also there in the option. Read the question. Question is asking you for measurement of AC, not QC. Okay. AP by PB, because this is parallel, equals AQ by QC. But we don't want to find QC. We want to find AC. A better way of writing the VPT here would have been AP by AB is equal to AQ by AC. I want to find AC. So you take AB. This is better. That way you, whatever answer you calculate, that only will be the answer.
Is it B?
Ma'am, 20 centimeters, ma'am.
20. Check again. It will be 4 divided by 10 equals 8 divided by AC. So AC is 80 divided by 4, which is 20. This is the better method. Yeah, many of you have answered in chat already. Good. Okay, 20 is the correct answer. Try this one. Sorry.
long one is the 5 mark type one.
Yeah.
You have to extend.
1 moment, students. Yeah, there. Why are so many of you stuck? It's a textbook question. Those who are stuck can have a look at the initial steps, which I'm showing.
AB by DE is equal to BC by EF is equal to
Good.
AC by AF.
Yeah. Draw the figure first.
I'm still separate one, right?
Yes, there are 2 triangles here.
Now, will it be SAS?
We'll be using SAS. Write this. Even for these type of questions, write given, write to prove, write construction. All this as marks. Okay, students, for this present discussion, let's change this question. This is the tougher type. This is the tougher question from the textbook. I picked this from the past board paper only. It has come in a past board paper. This is the tougher one which involves congruency, lot of extra construction. Yes. If I discuss this currently, right now, we are going to spend almost half an hour on this discussion only. For that reason, try this as a separate question, but it's a textbook question. So, and those of you who have doubts, you have my number, you have my contact number. Write to me, I will send it to you separately. But if I discuss it now, it's going to become a very long discussion. So I'll make it slightly easier. Change the question to side AB and BC and median AM are proportional to side DE and EF. This is easier to do.
Is this odd question?
I don't think so. In that paper, if I remember correct, it was not. Because it is a textbook question. Textbook questions usually don't come as odd questions.
Okay. Have they asked us any replacement for like how they usually ask? For 5 marks.
Yeah. Okay, so only because of this reason, because we don't have so many days, no, it's just today, tomorrow that I can do revision. Last day, I want to leave it free for you guys. If I had a lot of time, like 1 week revision time, I would have discussed this question. But I'm not discussing it right now. Do this. This change you make to the question and solve this question. This is also important. So I'm changing what is given. AB by DE is equal to BC by EF is equal to AM by DN. Yeah, this is not very long.
This one and then it's 90.
No, no 90 degrees. You're getting confused. Median, not altitude. Median. What you're supposed to do is BC by EF is the same as 2BM by 2EN. Why? Because AM and DN are medians. BM is equal to CM and EN is equal to NF. Online students, everyone's very silent. Understanding this? What I'm writing here? Since AM and DN is a median, it means that BM must be equal to CM. These two must be equal. And EN must be equal to FN because they are medians, right? Now look at what is the aim. The aim is to prove the big triangle is similar to the other big triangle. We don't have enough information right now to show the big triangles are similar. But I have enough information to show that the small triangles are similar. I have enough information to show that these two are similar. Those two are similar, there is enough information. But big two triangles, not enough information. Why do I say there's enough information? If BC by EF is equal to BM by EN, that means BC by EF is equal to, I meant 2BM by 2EN, 2 gets cancelled. So B by EF is equal to BM by EN, right? This is 1, this is 2. BC, not E, BC. Substitute 2 in 1. What happens when you substitute? AB by DE equals BM by EN is equal to AM by DN. What does this mean? All three sides of the smaller triangles are proportional to each other. If all three sides are proportional, what does it mean? The two smaller triangles are similar. So therefore, by which similarity? SSS. I did not do that during the concept recap. Which are the conditions of similarity? SSS, SAS, AA. SSS, SAS, AA. So by SSS similarity, what happens? We get triangle ABM is similar to triangle DEN. Now tell me, they have asked me to prove the big triangles are similar. I have proved the small triangles are similar. What's the advantage of doing this? What's the use of proving the small triangles are similar? Angle is equal. Which angle is of interest to us? Will be useful for us.
Ma'am, angle BNE.
Yes. This means that, so you will continue by writing this. This means angle B is equal to angle E. Why are those angles useful? Because those are there in the bigger triangle also. B and E are there in the big triangle also. So it is useful for us. Angle B is equal to angle E. Now if angle B is equal to angle E, what can we say? Angle B is equal to angle A. We already know what? That this side and this side is proportional to this side and this side here. Right? We already know AB by DE. Shan, what happened? Too much, huh? If you're feeling tired, just get up, take a rest and come back. AB by DE is equal to BC by EF. This we already know. It's given. AB by DE is equal to BC by EF. Therefore, which similarity are we using? SAS. By SAS similarity, which triangles are similar? Triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Okay? Okay, the other part, immediately after this question in your textbook exercise, the other question which I changed, no, the original question will come. It doesn't come too often in the exam, but I have picked this question directly from a previous paper. So it has come, it has appeared in a previous paper. And that is very long, it's quite long. You need to exactly remember the method to follow. So please practice that. You cannot leave that. If you're leaving that, that means you're taking a chance. You've already decided not to do it if it comes in the exam. Okay? So that is the OR question. Please try that. If those have doubts, you can ask me. This is a common OR question. This is a common second part question when BPT is asked. Memorized. When BPT theorem is asked, this is a very common AND question. Like prove BPT and then they'll ask you this question. Right?
I did the same thing, but you did divided half. But the reasoning, I can't put the same as you here, because
Yeah, same, correct. No
same
problem.
reasoning.
No problem. It's correct.
Okay, you show the reasoning with me.
You want to see the reasoning?
Yeah.
I'll write it down for you. Yeah. Is yours?
No, ma'am. It's equal to 4, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a very common type of question. And usually this comes, as I mentioned, following BPT. All you have to do is D is parallel to BC, so the ratios are the same. X by x minus 2, x plus 2 by x minus 1, x square minus x equals x square minus 4, x is equal to 4. That's all. Okay? Okay. One more question we'll solve now before going to coordinate geometry next chapter. Yeah. The first, second one, yeah. Is construction needed? There is a way to do it by using BPT, for which construction would be needed. If they insisted in the question, use BPT and then only prove this. Then you need to construct a line which is parallel. But you're free to use any method. So which is easier, BPT or similarity? Similarity is easier. Yes, see you have OA, OC, OB, OD. Shall I understand? Easy question. So let's say in the exam, this comes as BPT proof you're proving, and then they're asking you, using this theorem, prove this. Then you cannot use similarity because they've mentioned use BPT theorem to prove this. that time you will be forced to construct this small line here. Just this is enough. Okay. So construction will be EO parallel to CD. If EO is parallel to CD, obviously EO will be parallel to AB because AB and CD are already parallel. Now how do you prove? You will say DE by EA equals DO by OB by BPT. In which triangle are you applying BPT? By BPT in triangle DAB. Okay. You will also say that DE by EA is equal to CO by OA by BPT in which triangle? Triangle DAC. Look at that. First I applied this triangle BPT. Then I am applying this triangle BPT. Now I know this one must be equal to 2. These two must be equal. Hence this will be equal. So this is the way to do it by using BPT. You make a construction of a line and then do this. So remember, if it comes as a part of BPT question, then you have to do this. You'll be forced to do this only because they will say use this above theorem to prove. Okay, there are two more.
It's given in ends, right?
Yeah, but not for this question. That is for proving what? You will construct a line all the way up to the end if you want to prove this by this is equal to this by this. This is a different question. Okay? Read question carefully. Okay, two more questions I'll be sharing with you when I share this PDF, which you can try. Okay, two more questions. Let's go to the next chapter. So I'm going in the sequence of chapters as in the textbook. So next chapter is coordinate geometry. Yes. Recollect formula. Write the formula. You know it. You are very sure you know it. Then it's okay. Leave. Sit. Even if you wrote x1 minus x2, y1 minus y2, it's okay. No problem. Because anyway, you're squaring the value. But don't do x minus y. Don't do x2 minus y2. Don't do x1 minus y1. Then it is wrong. It should be difference between x coordinates, difference between y coordinates. This will be root of x square plus y square. That means directly you apply Pythagoras theorem. Root x square plus y square. The length of hypotenuse will be the distance. Okay?
When do we actually use it?
What? The Pythagoras theorem? This only when you are finding distance from origin. Only in that case. You use root of x square plus y square if you want to find distance of a point from origin which is 0, 0. Only then use this formula.
So 0, 0 and 5, 4.
Yeah.
I use it in 0, 5 and 5.
No, wrong. Only if the point is the origin. You want the distance from the origin only then.
For the formula ratios.
So here x coordinate will be m1 x2 m2 x1 by m1 plus m2. Y coordinate will be this. What is the formula to find the ratio? When ratio is not given in the questions, you use x is equal to k x2 plus x1 by k plus 1. You can use this formula if you know the x coordinate. If you know x coordinate, use this formula to find the value of k. K value will be the ratio. If you know the y coordinate, use y is equal to k y2 plus y1 by k plus 1 to find out what? K. Y is already given. You're using this to find ratio, no? So when you know the y coordinate, use this formula to find out the value of k. Midpoint formula?
x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2.
Y1 plus y2 by 2.
But centroid, is it a part of?
Centroid is part of portions because section formula is there.
Yeah, because we've never seen a question for arithmetic.
Centroid, what is the meaning of centroid?
From the center.
Centroid is the meeting point of medians. The meeting point of all three medians is called centroid. And centroid formula will be sum of all x coordinates by 3, sum of all y coordinates by 3. Okay?
This question was there in original set too.
Yeah. Centroid formula is there. Many students are asking me, is it part of deleted portions? Refer to the sample papers of last year and this year when the portions were deleted. Centroid questions were still there. Okay, so centroid is not part of deleted portions. Common doubt. Not part of deleted portions. Centroid is x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3, y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3.
Also, centroid is directly said.
Yeah. Or they may ask you find the meeting point of medians. That's all. Okay, to be answered in 10 seconds. 10. Answer is 10. Okay?
10, ma'am.
Yes. Okay? Remember distance from origin is root of 6 square plus 8 square. If you know Pythagorean triplets, very quickly you can answer this because this is like the Pythagoras formula. 6, 8 and 10 is a Pythagorean triplet. 3, 4, 5. 5, 12, 13. Okay? Then what do you have? 8, 15, 17. 7, 24, 25. These are very common Pythagorean triplets which will be useful for coordinate geometry chapter, for trigonometry chapter also. I wrote it. So remember, the highest value in this will be root of sum of squares of the other two. 25 will be root of 7 square plus 24 square. 17 will be root of 8 square plus 15 square. 10 will be root of 6 square plus 8 square. 5 will be root of 3 square plus 4 square. 13 will be root of 5 square plus 12 square. Okay? If you are good at remembering or if you have already memorized, good. You have an advantage. Others, please calculate and get. Don't mix up. Okay? This one? No. Yeah, it's D. It's not the same. C and D is not the same. Root of a minus b the whole square plus a plus b the whole square. You will get root of 2a square plus 2b square. A minus b the whole square, a square minus 2ab plus b square. This is a square plus 2ab plus b square. Minus 2ab plus 2ab will cancel. So you will get root of 2a square plus 2b square.
So 2a square plus 2.
Yes. This one?
Now, what was the answer for the previous question?
Option D.
Thank you.
There's a shortcut, yes. How? How? Solve and do. This is not very easy to just simply get, unless you have drawn the graph a little bit and you're getting an idea. Yes, guys, immediately remember what I discussed when I was telling you about the ratio formula. To find ratio, whenever you get a question where you have to find ratio, check which coordinate value do you know. It is telling x-axis is dividing the line segment. So which coordinate do we know? Y coordinate. On x-axis, what is the y coordinate? 0. On x-axis, y coordinate is what? 0. So immediately use the y coordinate formula. ky2 plus y1 by k plus 1 is y, which is 0. So k plus 1 into 0 will become 0. So k into y2, the second point, minus 3 plus 6 is 0, which means k is equal to minus 6 divided by minus 3, 2 by 1. Answer is D.
Now, how do you get a city bus? How do you like get to this knowledge that it's too?
Just know it. No, I did not know. How did you do it? Just knowing it like that by looking? That is wrong. You know what he did? He just did 6 divided by minus 3 directly. Everything you did in your mind. No, that faster than this, it would be a risk. This is the shortest which I can advise you, which is quickly have in your mind which is the coordinate which is given. Because it's a 1 mark, you don't have to write too many steps. So you know that y coordinate is known. Y coordinate is 0. Right? Y coordinate is 0, which means that ky2 plus y1 by k plus 1 is 0. And then solve for k. Okay. Now, you recognize where this question is from?
Yes.
If you recognize, good. That means your preparation is going good. If you don't recognize, bad.
Paper, ma'am.
It's from the original sample paper which was released this year. Most likely coordinate geometry case study question will be there. Okay. So now sometimes some answers are easy to give from the case study. Looking in the case study, looking at the figure, sorry, you can get the answers because they might have drawn the figure perfectly. Like they might have marked the coordinates perfectly in the figure and everything you will get correctly from the figure itself. That time, even looking at the figure, you can answer some of the questions. Like for example, midpoint, you can look which is the center point. You can answer that if you want the distance, sometimes you can just see what is the distance in the figure. But this type of figure, the coordinates are not marked. You can use it to get a rough idea of your answer, but you cannot use this figure to get perfectly your answer. So you need to solve them separately because the figure, it's not marked, which is the how everything is, it's not marked properly. Where is the origin? Which are the points? Nothing is marked properly. Okay. Yes, we will just discuss. I'm not doing complete calculation, students. If anyone wants me to calculate completely, you will know yourself if you are weak in this chapter or not, if you're weak in this type of question or not. If you are weak, you want me to solve completely, I'll solve. Otherwise, we will finish discussion of the type of questions and go to trigonometry. Okay? Yes. Tell me. Let's open it. So there is A, B, okay? We are having A, B, C, D. So A, B, C is here, D is here. Correct? If it was options, if it was an MCQ question, I would have used the figure. Somehow I would have found the answer because I'm having, okay, 1, 2. B is 4, 3. I would have just roughly checked which is the x coordinate, which is the y coordinate and done. Here, don't take that risk because it's not marked perfectly. The grid lines are not shown. If the grid lines were shown perfectly, then it's okay. Otherwise, don't take that risk. What logic do you use for this question? When you have missing vertex of parallelogram, very important. Midpoint formula. Which theorem of parallelogram are you using here? Which property? No. Which property of parallelogram? Diagonals bisect each other. That's the property you're using. Diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other, which means the midpoint of one diagonal is the same as midpoint of the other diagonal. So which will be the diagonals here? AC will be a diagonal, BD will be another diagonal. First, let's find the x coordinate. So x plus 4 by 2 must be equal to 6 plus 1 by 2. You guys know what I'm doing here? It's a 1 mark question of case study, so I'm not writing too many steps. The midpoint of BD, which is one diagonal, must be the same as midpoint of AC, which is another diagonal. So, x coordinate plus x coordinate here by 2 must be same as x coordinate plus x coordinate by 2. So I'm going to get x plus 4 is 7, x is 3. Next, y coordinate of the same logic. The y coordinate of D plus y coordinate of B by 2 is equal to y coordinate of A plus y coordinate of C by 2. 2 plus 6 by 2. So you get y is equal to 8 minus 3, 5. Therefore, D is equal to what? 3, 5. This logic is very important for coordinate geometry chapter. Missing vertex question or finding the meeting point of diagonals question for parallelogram. The concept is the meeting point of the diagonals is the midpoint of both the diagonals. Diagonals bisect each other. Clear? Okay. This one. Second one, it's an OR question. There are two questions here. Huh? Second first part and second OR question. Two parts are there. Yes. First one, check if the goalkeeper, sweeper, wingback fall on a same straight line. What is the logic for this? What concept in coordinate geometry do you use for this? To check whether 3 points are on a single line?
Centroid, ma'am.
No, not centroid. No, centroid is middle point of a right triangle. Here we are not talking about triangle. Here we are talking about 3 different points. I want to confirm whether it is on one single line.
Collinear.
How do you check collinearity?
AD plus BC equals AC.
Yes, what you should do is you find GH, find GK, find HK. You are having 3 points, no? 1, 2, 3. Find all the 3. Find GH, GK, HK. If it is collinear, what will happen? The sum of the two smallest distances will be equal to biggest distance. I don't know which is the smallest. Maybe from the figure we can quickly see. So GH is here, HK is here, GK is here. Yeah, if they were collinear, GK must be equal to GH plus HK. Just do it separately, find the two smallest distances and then check whether it's equal to biggest distances. Do you want me to solve this fully? No. Okay. Next one, how do we do?
Now, JC equal to CI or IC with the distance of
Equidistant questions. If a point is equidistant from two other points and the 3 points are on a same straight line, then you are using midpoint formula. I'm repeating. If a point is equidistant from two other points and if the point is on the same line as the two other points, then we are using midpoint formula. But if it is not given they are on the same line and if it's only given it's equidistant, please do not use midpoint formula. You're using distance formula. So I'm having 2 points. This point is at the same distance from the 2 points. You should not use midpoint formula. You should use distance formula. You should say if PQ is equal to PR. That is the meaning, no? P is equidistant from Q and R. Use distance formula. So how do you check this? You need to find out check if the fullback and center back are equidistant from C. Okay. Simple. Just find JC. You find JC, find IC and check whether they are equal. J to C distance you find, I to C distance you find. If both the distance is the same, it is equidistant. Not same, not equidistant. They've already given you C. So this really did not make sense. Oh, actually it did make sense. One moment. It did make sense. C is the midpoint of IJ. Okay, this changes the whole thing. C is the midpoint of IJ. You can use midpoint formula. You're checking whether C is equidistant from J and I. What question is this?
No, they're asking if C is the midpoint.
And if C is the midpoint. Okay, I missed that word, yeah. I'm tired. I missed out that word. You use a normal thing only, yeah. Okay, so first you find out JC, you find out IC. If both of them are equal, that means it's equidistant. Okay, And how do you confirm whether C is the midpoint of ij or not? You just check, apply midpoint formula. But too much work for this question, I think. Other one was better. Right? Here, if you're finding out C is the midpoint of ij, what you should do? You should check whether this 0 is equal to sum of x coordinates divided by 2. It's not the midpoint, no? 5 plus minus 4 is 1. 1 divided by 2 is 1 by 2. So this is definitely not the midpoint. Okay, they are asking, so there's two parts. There are two parts to the question over there. Any doubts here, students?
No, ma'am.
Okay, this I'll keep as, this is third part of the question which you can try. Okay, so I think coordinate geometry then it's okay. Only thing is the tricky questions would be there is a straight line which divides, a line segment. Find out what ratio a straight line is dividing. Those type of questions. No, there'll be lines equation will be given. So you need, suppose 2x plus 3y divides a line. You find x, use x formula, get x in terms of the ratio, x in terms of k. Use y formula, get y in terms of k. Substitute that into the equation.
3 marks.
Yeah, it can come for 3 marks. Okay, but I think otherwise this chapter is quite simple actually, if you're just careful with the formula. Okay, trigonometry. Yes. Students, do you want a 5-minute break? How many of you are staying till 5? I know you guys all are staying here till 6:30.
6:46.
Okay, but online students, if you're staying here till 5, okay, we'll be continuing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, there I can see that everyone's looking a little tired now. So we'll take a 5-minute break. Okay, and then continue. Meanwhile,
Yeah, ma'am.
those who want to try the formulae can try this out. Okay, let's continue. Okay. So, ka, toa. Okay. Sine is opposite by hypotenuse. So, sine is opposite by hypotenuse. Ka, cos is adjacent by hypotenuse. Toa, tan is opposite by adjacent. Cosec, third letter is S. Cosec is reciprocal of sine. So cosec is 1 by sine theta, which I'll write next. Reciprocal means it will be H by O. Sec, third letter is C. Sec is reciprocal of cos. So cos is equal to H by A. Cot, third letter is T. Tan, tan's reciprocal will be A by O. Which ratios are reciprocals of each other? Sine and cosec, cos and sec, and then tan and cot. These are reciprocals of each other. Any of these reciprocal ratios, when you multiply, what will be the value? 1. Sine of 30 into cosec of 30 will be 1. Sine of 30 into cosec of 60 won't be 1. It should be same angle. Sine 30 into cosec 30 will be 1. Equal angles ratios, when you multiply, you will get 1. Now, trigonometric identities. You have sine square theta plus cos square theta equals 1. Another form of writing this could be, maybe I can say cos square theta is equal to 1 minus sine square theta. Or I could say sine square theta is 1 minus cos square theta. Remember, sec square theta minus tan square theta is 1. Or you can say sec square theta is 1 plus tan square theta. If there is a specific order in which you guys already remember this, that's okay. Only thing is you must know how to rearrange it correctly depending on the requirement. Okay? Yes. Cosec square theta minus cot square theta is 1. which means that cosec square theta is equal to 1 plus cot square theta. Okay, these identities are really important, of course, you know that. Questions will come based on this, and questions will come based on values also. What are the trigonometric values for these? Sine 0, sine 30, sine 45, all these. You all know this very well? I don't have to give you time to write. You know it very well. So you know that this will be 0, 1 by 2, 1 by root 2. Just reverse that. 1 minute. Okay. Cosec is reciprocal of sine. Not defined. Okay. This will be reverse of sec. Sorry, 2 by root 3. Okay. These values are very important for this chapter, also for application of trigonometry. Application of trigonometry chapter, these 3 columns, and especially these 9 values, extremely important. Sine, cos, tan of these 3 angles. Those 9 values would be the most important ones. Okay. Quickly, let's get to solving few questions.
Ma'am, sorry, ma'am. Just 1 minute. Can you move
Yeah,
to
sure.
1 minute? Done. ma'am. Thank you.
Try not to look at the table and do it. If you've already written the table, now force yourself not to look at the table and do this question. Start. Oh, it's cos. I read it as, it's cot. Sorry, I read it as cos. 2 square plus root 3 by 2 the whole square plus p equals 3 by 4. So we get 4 minus 4 plus 3 by 4 plus p is 3 by 4. Both of them have the same sign, equal values. You can subtract 3 by 4 on both sides. This is also 0. So you get 0 plus p is 0, p is 0. I can see that some of you are still solving the question. I'm sure online also some of you might not have this kind of speed. It's okay if you are not very fast, but these are scoring questions of trigonometry chapter. So try not to make any errors over here in these type of questions. Okay? Maximum if it comes as a 2 marks, you can spend up to 3-4 minutes. We solved it very quickly. But you can spend up to 3-4 minutes on a 2 mark question. But do it carefully without making any errors. Okay? Don't lose marks on simple questions.
For 2 marks, then only ask that angle A plus angle B is equal to this square. Ma'am, will we get to discuss the one way? Where is the
What did you ask?
Can ma'am show the previous slide?
Yes. Okay, I'll share this anyway, no? I'll be sharing this. Yeah.
Ma'am, is it 2?
I'll check. So 5 by cot 30 square. What is cot 30? Root 3. Cot 30 is the same as tan 60. So root 3 square plus 1 by sine square 60. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. Minus cot square 45. 1. Plus 2 sine square 90. What is sine 90? Sine 90 is 1. Don't write minus 3 here. I've seen that kind of mistake. Minus 1 plus 2. Don't combine 1 and 2 and say minus 3. Okay? Don't make that kind of mistake. Minus 1 plus 2 is plus 1. So you get 9 by 3 plus 1, which is 3 plus 1, 4. This one?
I don't understand this one. That's why I always go to the other one. Normally they ask this or for in the 2 marks. I don't
Comes to this answer is 2. Theta will be 45.
If sine theta equals cos theta, what will be the value of theta?
45.
45. Only for 45 degrees sine theta is equal to cos theta. And what is tan square 45? 1. What is cot square 45? 1. So you will get 1 plus 1, 2. Another way to do it, if you forget that, if that doesn't come to your mind, sine theta is the same as cos theta. Sine theta is the same as cos theta means that theta is 45. That doesn't come to your mind. Remember, sine theta by cos theta will be equal to what? Yes. Here when I divide, I'll get sine theta by cos theta equals 1. I'm getting tan theta equals 1, which means cot theta is also 1. And tan square theta will be 1, cot square theta will be 1. So answer is 2. Okay? This one? Any of you have not started, not getting the starting step? Very good. Do we square both sides?
We use the formula C plus
Whole square.
minus 2.
What happened, Abdan? You've been staring at the question for a long time. What happened? What do you get? A square plus B square plus 2AB, correct. What is AB here? What is tan theta, cot theta? Yes. So what is 2 tan theta, cot theta here? Correct. You can use that, no? So what? That's what you're finding. You're finding the value. I'm starting with what is given. We are starting with what is given. Tan theta plus cot theta equals 4 root 3 by 3. Square both sides. So you get tan square theta plus cot square theta plus 2 tan theta cot theta equals 16 into 3 by 9. Okay? This is what you have to find, right? So leave that as it is. What is tan theta multiplied by cot theta? 1. So you get plus 2 equals, solve this. So you get 16 by 3. Now, what is tan square theta plus cot square theta then? 16 by 3 minus 2. Which is 16 minus 6 by 3. 10 by 3. That's it. Okay?
Previous question.
Yeah, I'll show that.
Ma'am, could you please explain it again?
Yeah, sure. I am having tan theta plus cot theta value given. Using this, I need to find the value of tan square and cot square. You should think of a way to use the given expression in order to get these terms, tan square and cot square terms. So immediately what should come to your mind is let me square. Now when you're squaring, please don't directly square tan square and cot square. It is whole square. LHS square equals RHS square. What is LHS square? A plus B the whole square. That will be A square plus B square plus 2AB. A square, B square, 2AB. That is equal to this value. So you get tan square theta plus cot square theta is as it is. You leave it as it is because that's what you require. But we know that tan and cot are reciprocals of each other. Cot is 1 by tan. So that will get cancelled. So you get this plus 2 is 16 by 3. Now rearrange. Rearrange to find the value. 16 by 3 minus 2, you get this value.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Last question from trigonometry. Because yesterday I tried to discuss many questions, but problem was it was taking more time than I expected. Because I'm explaining also, no? It's not just that you're doing, I'm explaining also. I'll give you more questions for practice if you want, don't worry. But for the group discussion, I think we limit ourselves here.
Also, it doesn't have that much proving questions. Will it be basic now? Like how do they usually ask proving questions? Is it straight from textbook?
See, for the last 2 years in particular, in the curriculum, in the syllabus, they are mentioning proving questions simple type only. In the syllabus. I forgot the exact wordings, but meaning the same. Before that, wording was not there. In the official CBSE curriculum, no? They used to say trigonometric proofs, but they never used to mention simple only. This time they are mentioning that, which means I think they want the examination creators not to make it too tough, the proving questions.
Which means mostly textbook.
Mostly textbook questions or like what we did previously, smaller type questions. But see, again, it's a risk, no? Because everyone's perception of what is a simple question will be different. Yeah?
So you're saying proving might be easy.
But only thing is that I know that some of you are very worried about this chapter, trigonometry, and especially the proving part. My advice, keeping the amount of time we have, see, already now so fast 1.5 days have gone by. And you're left with now what? You're just left with tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Proving questions take time to practice. If you have been doing practice before this, a lot of practice, very good. That is good. You will have that in your mind. You will have that skill. At this last moment, it's not a very good time to start doing lot of new proving practice questions. At that time, you can solve so many other questions which are likely to come. Okay? Right now, which proving questions you should mainly focus on? You should mainly focus on in your sample paper questions, the official 3 papers, sample papers questions. Last year's few board exam papers, if you're solving questions, no problem. Textbook questions, that's it. No point solving worksheet upon worksheet of proving questions in this last moment. Because remember, in that much time, you can do so much other practice. Okay? But textbook questions, sample paper questions, please don't miss out.
Ma'am, the worksheets you send daily, actually, I just did
No problem.
So, like, I don't know how to bring it all. Like,
No problem. I didn't make it compulsory, no? That was mainly for the purpose of regular You don't lose in touch. There were some students who wanted that regular practice.
So now
Do the other important work first.
where is that from these questions?
I randomly picked up from previous papers and worksheets. But if you have not done it till now don't do it. Now is not a good time to do it.
So what should I do now? Faster.
2023 papers, official sample papers, textbook. You want to go beyond that, exemplar. NCERT exemplar questions.
Obviously, complication because it is the list of the 6 things you said.
Mom, with your hard one.
Come, let's discuss this. Let's finish trigonometry.
Ma'am, can you repeat again what we should revise during the gap day?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll do one thing. See, it's already 5:10. So the other 2 chapters, we can do it tomorrow. Okay? It will become too long. You'll get tired now. Otherwise, after this question, let's finish discussing this question. Then I'll give you a plan what to do in the coming 2 days.
Okay, ma'am.
This is the only harder question which I have put for discussion today. What happened? Starting trouble again. How to start?
Usually into the sign.
Whenever you see bigger powers like 4, 6, 8, big powers when you see, your aim is to express everything in terms of sine square and cos square. Sine square, cos square. Okay? Here what I will do, in this case, sine a to the power 6 I have. I will write this as sine square a cube. Sine square a cube plus 3 sine square a cos square a. This is the LHS. Okay? LHS is sine square a cube. So every time I see higher powers, this will be my first aim. Let me try writing in terms of square. Now, what can you take common out? What can you take common out over here? I can take sine square a common. So what will be left?
1 to the power of 3 plus 3 cos square a.
Sine?
Sine raised to 4.
Sine raised to 4. See, this is, okay. If that was the case, okay, wait. We could have done that also. Without writing that over there, directly I could have taken sine square a out. What is left then? Sine square a into what is sine a to the power 6? Sine a to the power 4 plus 3 cos square a I get. Okay? Next, what do we do? My aim is, look at the RHS. When you look at the RHS, you can see that RHS only has cos. It does not have sine. So your idea over here, the idea of solving this must be to step by step try changing this fully in terms of cos. This is method 1. There is one more method which I can discuss. This is method 1. Step by step you change this in terms of what? In terms of sine square. Cos square. Sorry, I'm telling the opposite. Cos square. Sine square a is what? 1 minus cos square a. Okay. What is this sine a to the power 4? It is sine square a the whole square. Correct? Okay. Now I'm getting 1 minus cos square a. How this sine square a, let me change it in terms of cos square. Because look, in RHS only cos is there. How do I change this sine square a? 1 minus cos square a. Okay, the whole square plus 3 cos square a. What do we do next? What is a minus b the whole square? A square minus 2ab plus b square plus 3 cos square a. Okay. So I get 1 minus cos square a. Here what do I have? 1. What is 3 cos square a minus 2 cos square a? Cos square a plus cos to the power 4a. What should we do next? Open bracket fully. So 1 plus cos square A plus cos A to the power 4 minus cos square A minus cos A to the power 4 minus cos A to the power 6. This cancels. I get only 1 minus cos A to the power 6, which is RHS. So you should have faith in what you're doing. You should have faith that, okay, LHS is having both sine and cos. RHS is having only cos. How can I change sine completely to cos? Sine square A is 1 minus cos square A. Do that substitution, then stick on to it. Don't give up. Like, okay, it's all simple identities. Only thing is you need to have that confidence it will come towards that step. Then you open the brackets, cancel out these terms, and you get the RHS. The second method involves A cube plus B cube identity. Do you want me to discuss that or leave it? A cube plus B cube. That means I will rearrange what I'm going to prove. Yes, A plus B into A square minus AB plus B square.
A plus B cube minus 3AB and...
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this. A cube plus B cube.
Oh, that's what I said. A plus B whole cube.
No, I'm talking about A cube plus B cube. A plus B into A square minus AB plus B square.
So now what is this formula which you given online?
That is also there. I'll come to you and separately discuss. Polynomials chapter you're talking about, no? I'll come to you and separately tell you. You don't want me to discuss this? This method is okay? Okay, so remember this, okay? Alright, students. I've already extended class a lot. It's okay. That's the reason the class got extended is because we spent the initial time on AP and this one, word problems, which is also quite important. Okay, long answer questions will come from that only. So tomorrow we'll finish the remaining sessions. Tomorrow also, if necessary, I might extend the session a bit so that I'm able to complete all the chapter concepts.